Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Photography Chat with Merlin. We're in season 2, episode 36 with Hawn Fawn. We'll just wait for her to get on here and then we'll get started with the chat. Hope everyone's been staying safe out there, and for all my Canadian pals, hope you guys have either voted or planning to vote. Very important. Alberta friends, stay safe. It sounds kind of crazy out there right now. And just in general, yeah, kind of wild times. That's awesome. You've been waiting for this, Danielle. I'm stoked. And hey, Edward. Good to see you, man. There she is. Okay. We will invite her in. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I love
Yeah. My what? Sorry.
your glasses.
Oh yeah, I call them my invisible frames because I lose them all the time because they're clear and then I can never find them.
Is that just because these are clear ones, or is that just an excuse for glasses?
I'm losing them all the time.
I always kind of wanted clear ones, but I don't know if I could ever pull them off. Yeah.
No, I think you can. I
Uh,
mean, you already have the big frames going. It's just simple, transition into
it's a
the clear.
start. Yeah. Like my
That,
very first glasses, and I cringe when I see like young photos of me in them, were like super tiny, like almost
yeah.
um what's it, Morpheus from like the
Yeah,
Matrix, like tiny ones. But I blame that on it being like 1996. And
sure. That's that's what it was.
uh,
Uh,
Nick Collingwood Vintage asks, what is the temp there? Rock that beanie.
Nick, man, he's like such a troublemaker, that guy. It's probably 80 degrees. I don't know. It's warm out. So, but I'm always in a beanie.
Okay, I'm curious about that because I've never understood this phenomenon. I've noticed that when I've gone to California, is like seeing the beanie folks in
Mm-hmm.
summertime, and like in Canada we call them toques, and
You call them beans tubes
yeah, we call
or
them.
pe Okay,
We call the beanies toques,
got it, got it.
um, and I've only ever seen like hipsters rock them here outside of wintertime.
How dare you?
Not calling you a hipster or anything, but I was just always kind of curious, like, do you ever like feel really hot in one of those when it's like hot out, or
I think if I have to walk a lot
uh
in a beanie, yeah, it's hot. Otherwise, it's fine. Like people at work call me Beanie Baby because I'm always in a beanie. I don't know.
well, I mean,
It's
I gotta say it's a good look. It's distinct to you because like that was one of the things I've noticed in all the photos I've seen posted of you is the uh, the beanies.
never with that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It
very,
just is easier also because I never comb my hair. Maybe once a year.
that's fair.
So
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah. You
I
don't have
I liked
I,
wearing a toque when I had hair and was not wanting to do anything with it, but then I decided to just forego hair and not do.
yeah, I think that's easier. I'll trade you. I mean, if
I mean,
you want
it's
hair
really
pro
simple to do this if you want. You can just like, go to
yeah,
the barber, like go to Walmart and pick up like one of the and just yeah.
just go at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Try it at least once in your life. It's very freeing.
I think I want to. Yeah. I mean, get all the baby hairs back and feel my scalp for real.
It is a very weird feeling when it's coming back and your head kind of turns into Velcro for like a week or so and just like everything
Sounds
kind of
so
sticks
gross.
to it.
Photography chats.
Well, that's the fun of photography chat. Yeah, it could be anything. It's loosely related in photography, and just the idea of I like photography, and I happen to just talk to different photographers once a week.
Yeah, and I dig it. I have been digging it.
Thanks, I appreciate that. You're a fan favorite. So many people were like, you need to get her on the chat. So, I listen to the fans.
So many people is at JP. Just the one fan that I have is JP.
Yeah. Not just JP. There was a few other people. Mostly JP. Yeah.
Nice.
JP's
Yeah, actually, I mean, he's kind of like the link to everybody, I feel like. I found, your Instagram and your chat through him because you had him on like what last year or something. And
yeah,
that was
he's like an OG guest.
yeah, yeah, yeah. His was the first episode that I watched, and then after that, I was like, nice, this is cool.
Yeah, when he was in his like lab 3D printing up a storm of like random concoctions.
And was he just like, hey, I have an extra of this, you can have this, let me send it to you?
Yeah, he's pretty wild about that. But that's what's like really cool about the photo community that I've really admired and I find amazing is just like how welcoming and warm and generous the vast majority of people in the photo community are.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's mind blowing. Like, I remember when I first started out and just reaching out to a ton of people when I just had like point and shoots and I wanted to get into medium format, and everyone was like, you know, I don't know, willing to answer questions and willing to like let me borrow their camera. And I don't, maybe, well, I don't know, maybe this is like a blanket statement that I shouldn't make, but I don't see that in other communities, and this is special. People are pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't really see it. Like I think that's a fair blanket statement to make is that, you don't see that in a lot of other communities. Um, I think like the portability of cameras and stuff helps because like if
Mhm.
you're into like the JDM life or something, someone's not gonna be like, "Yo, here, borrow my GTR. I hear you like wanting shit or something." Like
Right.
that's not gonna happen. But like, I definitely have more cameras than I can shoot with all of the time. So like if I run into someone that's curious about trying something and I have it, I'll be like, "Here, just take it for a bit because it's just sitting on my floor right now."
Absolutely. It's really cool.
Very cool. So that leads, I guess, kind of to my first question. What got you into all this craziness? Like, how did you get your start with photography?
Oh man, that's, ooh, let's see. I started shooting because of my dad, first and foremost. Like growing up, he, always had a camera on him. Um, and I think he was mostly a film shooter, analog until probably like a decade ago, maybe. Um, but yeah, like my childhood, it was always him carrying a camera around. And then in middle school, when I would go on like field trips, he would buy disposable cameras for me and just be like, "Here, have at it." I'll print out the photos for you. And then I think when I was in high school, I transitioned to like a Canon Power Shot or something like that. When those things first came out and they were 8 megapixels,
Yeah,
but like $600, and everyone looked like a box.
that's how I got started with digital was the
Yeah.
power shot. I had like an A60
Oh man, but you still remember. That's crazy.
and then upgraded to the A75 and those things eight AA batteries like mother truckers.
Yes, yes. They
Just
were terrible. Super, super portable. Um,
I still
yeah,
kind of miss the portability of it.
like the tiny ones that would fit in the palm of your hand, right?
They're so
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I like those a lot. But I don't know, one thing led to another, and then I was like, let's try film. And that was a rabbit hole that's been leeching money for
Did,
years now.
did your dad ever let you play with his like his main cameras, or was just always he just hook you up with disposables?
No, he had like a couple of the Nikons that like he grew up using and he let me borrow them, but
Okay.
I think at that time I was just like, I don't know manual controls. Do you have something I could literally point and shoot with? So,
That one that led to my other question was like, yeah, was your dad like an OG Canon guy or a Nikon guy or like an
yeah, for
Olympus?
sure. Nikon through and through, even now. Like he started with the Nikon FG. Uh,
That's a great
and
one.
Yeah, there he still has them. I have them now actually.
The FG
And
dope, except the one thing that like always fucked me up with my FG when I shot one is you have to make sure you go through all the way with the stroke when you're advancing, because if you just do it real quick, you end
yeah,
up overlapping frames, and it
yes.
fuck it. None of my other cameras I've ever had that happen, but the FG all the time. It's just if you do it too quick, it doesn't advance the way.
That's kind of weird though. I mean, like why wouldn't they put a fail safe or something or just make it advanced normally?
I don't know. I ended up buying a power winder for it though, which made it sound like wicked awesome because it's like wow, wow, and it was just really cool. But I ended up when I got bigger Nikons, ended up just selling that guy to a friend.
What was the bigger Nikon that you got?
Oh man, I went on like an orgy of buying cameras in like late 2017, early 2018. Shit was still kind of cheap, and I bought the FG off of a friend when I was getting into film. And then I looked on Craigslist and I saw that there was like F80s for really cheap, and I was like, "Fuck!" I always wanted an F80 because my first digital, like real digital DSLR, was a Nikon D70.
Hmm.
So I bought a Nikon F80, and then I found an F100 super cheap, and I'm like, I always wanted an F100, so I bought the F100, and then like a couple months after buying the F100, I found an F5 really cheap,
Oh my
and
God.
I've always wanted an F5, and so I bought the F5, and that's been like my main guy. I love the F5. It's been a great camera. Um, it got stolen from me once, and it was gone for like a month, and managed to get it back.
The
So
same camera that got stolen?
yeah, I don't know where he is right now. I haven't been shooting much film lately, so I don't. It's somewhere in the house, I'm sure. I don't think I've lost it. Maybe I did. Row. Um, somewhere around the house because I feel like I'm cheating on film a little bit because I just recently picked up a
What is?
Fuji. It's a Fuji X-T2.
Oh my goodness.
A couple of friends have just really been like on me about trying mirrorless, and
Yeah.
Big Head Taco finally pushed it over the edge, and I was like, okay, I have to like try this, and I found a really good priced XT2, and
Yeah.
um, it's kind of like reinvigorated a bit of passion for shooting. As much as I fucking hate Fuji so much with like the deepest passion in my heart, I hate them so much. But the camera is really nice. It's a really nice camera.
Yeah, I'm hearing really good things about their mirrorless. I mean, everyone's kind of jumping ship, or if they are jumping ship, it's to Fuji.
Yeah, and it's been pretty cool. Like I really wanted an X Pro 2 to get that like digital rangefinder kind of thing, but they're really hard to find used because Fuji kind of shit the bed with the X Pro 3. Like they didn't make it that distinct and like that big of a jump for people to like want to upgrade.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been hanging on to their X Pro 2s, and when they do put them out there, they're still pretty expensive. But what I didn't realize, and what Take, like Big Head Taco, told me, he's like the XT2 and the X Pro 2 are functionally the same camera.
Hmm.
Just one is kind of like SLR based to feel like an SLR camera, and the other one's a rangefinder based. But he's like the CPU, the processor, the sensor, everything. It's all the same, and these go for like way cheaper than X Pro 2s. So
I
all of
know
a sudden, XT2 prices are probably going to shoot up.
that. Well, you know what you have to do is make a YouTube video,
No,
and then
no,
yeah,
I will leave that to the other peoples out there. I don't know if I'll do YouTube yet. Or ever. Um, yeah.
it seems really daunting. Like this in and of itself, once a week, seems very time consuming, and that you've been so consistent is crazy.
Well, so I've wanted to give up a few times because it is a lot of work. and remembering things, because I do everything by myself and I try to remember things, and my memory has been dog shit since the car accident last year.
Damn.
I've messed up scheduling a ton of times because like I'll talk to people, but then I won't write it down, and then I'll talk to another person, and be like, "Yo, let's do this thing," and then I'll double book or triple book people, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I've like got to fix everything now," and so now I'm whiteboarding things so that I can remember, do shit, and hopefully I won't mess it up as much. And JP's here now, so we can all take a sigh of relief.
I'm done. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. But it's been fun. Like there's been a few times though that I've been like, you know what, I want to shut it down because it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
But every time I kind of start feeling that way, someone will reach out and talk about like, you know, how cool it's been for them to like come across the chats, or like, you know, how much they look forward to them. And I was like, okay, I can't stop yet. So,
Yeah.
and people still want to talk with me, which has surprises me because I don't find myself that terribly interesting.
Well, the thing is, like, you don't have a script. That's what it is. So it's really, it's refreshing to get different people on and to not have to hear the same questions. And it's literally just a, what do you call it? I don't know, an impromptu talk, I guess. That's
Yeah.
scheduled. So
Well, it's just so it all started because it started from a cooking show that I was doing. Like I was stuck in my
you were cooking?
yeah. So I used to do this thing called Cooking with Merlin because I was like bored in my house and in my house bored during the pandemic lockdowns, and I saw these other people doing lives, and I was like, "What's this live shit?" And so I would turn it on while I was like making dinner, and people
Yeah.
just like hang out and like chat with me and the chat thing and comment on my music that was playing while I was cooking dinner, and I was like, "This is kind of fun." And then photographers started showing up in it and asking photo questions.
Mhm.
I realized you could like suck another person in, so you didn't have to be the person talking. I was like, "Oh, I can share the misery with someone else." And yeah, from there, people were like, you should just do the photo thing more often.
Mhm.
And I haven't done a cooking episode in like quite a while. It's just been the photo ones. And yeah,
Can
Jason,
I request that next week, please?
what's that?
Just you and another photographer cooking while chatting.
That'd be kind of fun. I've talked to one photographer who's a bit shy, and we've decided for their episode, we're just going to get drunk in a parking lot when we're in the same town sometime and just do a photo live while we're wasted somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I don't know if I could do the film soup thing because like I have a lot of trouble with the film because I don't like the idea of ruining film.
Oh no, I don't mean stooping your film. Just cook and talk
No.
about.
Someone in the comments said cooking film soup, and I'm just I don't know if I could do that. It's cool that people do it and get great results, but like my fear with that, and this is also why I don't shoot like the Revelog and like the crazy like films
Mhm.
like that, is like, what if it's a shot that I really like and I wished it wasn't all fucked up like that, and I wanted like the shot as it would have been if I just shot it on regular film.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how stooping works.
The soup, I get, so you like, I can't remember if you do it before or after, but like somewhere along the process, you take your like film rolls and
Hmm.
like put them in a liquid, any liquid.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
so
and then it like fucks the film up and it gives you weird janky results. And yeah, like there's some people that do some beautiful work with it. Uh,
yeah.
like someone's like, I don't know how cooking works, Han. So, don't microwave it. I know that much. You could try microwaving film. I don't know if anyone's tried it. It could be.
TM, TM it now, because then it's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Trademark. AP says, I know someone that can soup your films and enjoy the static. Says, do not eat the film soup. Yeah.
How are you so caught up on the chat? I'm like, every time I try to press on it. my fat fingers start texting.
It's just practice from doing this all the time. If it don't come out good, it was never shot. That is a fair one. Yeah.
For
Uh,
sure.
yeah. So that's kind of yeah. I have a ton of Nikons. I just got this cute little guy today, and it's like the
Oh,
cutest
good.
little thing. I looked at it. It's got a little face.
Put it in your palm and then show everybody.
It's got a little face in it, and it's like the cutest damn. And it comes with stickers. There's a little sticker pack it comes with.
Like, are you supposed to put the stickers on the Polaroids that come out?
I don't know. Let's see. Like I've never. Oh, what the shit? Free stickers to. Oh, they're like double-sided thingies, so that you could like mount the stickers on, mount the photos on things.
Oh, nice.
That's
Wow.
cool. That's neat. I've never shot with, and it's such a tiny little Polaroid, and just a little
Oh,
baby. Here,
it's so tiny.
it like fits inside.
Oh my goodness, that's adorable.
It is super adorable. I'm really curious about this. I know that there's like a lot of hate for this right now because someone out there rumored that they killed Spectra for this camera,
Oh.
which there's a lot of saltiness about that about this. Are you a Polaroid shooter?
I talk about Polaroid a lot to people because I don't know anything about it.
You don't know
Or maybe people talk about Polaroid a lot to me because I have questions.
so you don't have a Polaroid yet then?
I feel like I have it. I have something somewhere. Just
What
I
kind
haven't
of
used.
Polaroid do you have?
Oh man, like from the 90s Polaroid. Oh, here. This thing that my boss gave me, and she gave me like a pack of film.
Oh, it's an Impulse. Those are cool.
And
That's,
then my
that's
partner has like is it the SX? That's a Polaroid, right?
Oh, the foldy guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, hold up your Polaroid. We'll do Polaroid shots here. This is
So
the very first shot of my tiny Polaroid.
that's awesome.
This thing is hilarious.
Is it kind of like the Instax Mini? Is that what it's supposed to be like?
But yeah, I think they're totally competing with the Instax Mini, but it's tinier than a square. Because I'm surprised at how fucking small it is.
Yeah.
Where's a square frame? I know I've got like a square fits inside of this. It fits inside of a square.
Oh my god.
Small.
I love really, really tiny things and then like really, really large things that don't make any sense. Like
What's the largest thing that doesn't make sense that you love?
8x10 film. I don't get how big it. Hello, I have no words, but it makes me giggle all the time.
I want an 8x10 so fucking bad.
Yeah, yeah, you should do it.
I have I'm like 70% of the way to be able to do 8x10 Polaroids. I have the processor. I have
Ah,
colors. I have film. I just don't have an 8x10 camera, because they're so fucking expensive.
is that it? Just the camera? That's not.
Camera. I have everything but the camera. I have a
Gee.
friend that has an 8x10 that he's like, bring over the Polaroid sometime, and we'll try making it. So
Dude.
I don't know. I might try like his 8x10 camera to see if I actually want it. But yeah, it's even wilder than 8x10.
Is there something bigger?
There's so much more bigger.
Really?
They Polaroid.
My brain thinks that they're jokes, like it's not real.
No. This like Polaroid made a camera that was like they used a room to make it, so that they could take full body instant photos of firefighters from 9/11.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Do did someone like publish that work? Is that somewhere? I don't know. Where can I see it?
I think it's out there somewhere, but like top to bottom, like full height photos of people, like in like the 20 by 24 rolls, but they made the camera big enough so that they could like roll the roll out to like the height of the person, so that like their photo could like be like side by side with the person.
Did like 5 people pull up dark slide at once? Like that was what.
It must have it must have been something like that. Yeah, Elsa
Oh
Dorfman
my God.
did those ones too, and then she also had one of the Polaroid 20 by like the legit real Polaroid 20 by 24s. Like there's a couple of like other 20 by 24 cameras that were out there, but I think Polaroid only made like a handful of them, and Dorfman had one of them, and hers that was crazy. Like, yeah, and Brandy says there's a documentary out there. The wild thing with hers was she never owned it. It was like a lease from Polaroid that was just like a long-term lease that she had. So it was like fucking
That's
crazy. Um, yeah.
good. Okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
and yeah, they made a 40 by 80 camera once. Someone said in the comments. So it's like,
Oh
yeah,
my
they get
God.
wicked huge. Like you can, yeah, I saw one camera at Policon 3. Um, Ian Kazenkoff had a trailer camera. It was like a car trailer that he had turned into a camera. And to like, do focus adjustments and to like frame up the photo, he had to like literally back his truck like backwards and forwards
That's so cool.
to move
That's
around.
wild.
Yeah, like
Dude,
it's crazy like some of the absurd things people can do with cameras stuff.
that's bananas. Yeah, no, you should definitely get an 8x10 though. Um, I think JP picked one up. He said it wasn't that expensive, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah, like under a grand maybe, hopefully.
Oh,
I think like,
dang.
Armand at the Denton Camera Exchange has one for me. I just have to like get him money and then sort out shipping. And I was kind of hoping to be able to pick it up like if I went down there for Policon, but thanks Delta variant for um,
Ruining everything.
yeah, just making everyone's dreams come true so hardcore. Um, the picture quality without a flash really sucks. We just
I
have
can't, yeah, I can't really tell what that is.
like blob that's my computer monitor and um yeah but it's cute.
It's cute. That's all that matters. You're bringing it for the novelty. I mean, it's not even useful.
I mean it could be interesting because like I use a Lomo instant square to give away photos to strangers because I like
Hmm.
that. It's kind of fun to just give people photos and they get all excited about it. um,
Nice.
Maybe this would be kind of a bit more fun. I don't know if it'll be cheaper because Polaroid's so expensive.
Is it? It's the same price as like regular size Polaroid, right?
No, this is cheaper. It comes in
Oh,
these, like little 2 packs with like 16 shots for like $20.
okay.
Or like I don't know what it is in American or Canadian dollars are terrible, but
Wait, is 16, you mean 16 Canadian dollars or 16 American dollars?
no, it's 16. Well, actually, let's look up. Let's see here. Let's ask the internet what um
That's like 5 freedom flags in
five,
America.
five freedom. It's five freedom flags and one bald eagle. You can't forget about the bald eagles. Okay, go film. Yeah, it's $20 US for 16 frames.
Okay. That still sounds really expensive.
Well, it's Polaroid, so so let's see, 19. Because I'm terrible at math. Divided by 16. It's a $1.24 US a shot. $1.25, so $1.25 basically.
Yeah,
Let's
for
see,
like
what Fuji Instax go for? Because I think Square is like $20 for 20 shots. Yeah, they still shit the bed on this one. Way to go, Polaroid. I still love you guys.
More than Fuji. Forever more than Fuji.
Uh, yeah, well, so like the, I've talked about this in other episodes and on a podcast that happened at Polacon 3. Don't Google that because I mean you'll understand like the deep hatred I have for Fuji if you do, but it's because they keep killing beautiful things.
Yeah.
Mostly hate them for killing pack film. I feel like that was an irredeemable thing that they did.
Yeah.
And then they killed Akros, but then brought it back, and then they killed 400H, which I just started liking, and it's like fuck you guys.
And then is it Velvia or is it Provia now? I can never get it straight.
Oh, I think it was the Velvia that they had to kill because it
Okay.
gives cancer or whatever.
I mean, what doesn't?
I mean, yeah, the air gives cancer right now. Like
Yeah.
the COVID vaccine probably has cancer in it.
No, it just has stem cells and fetuses and other things. Get it straight, Merlin.
Okay, okay. I mean, I got both of them. I got the mRNA one and the sewer water one, AstraZeneca.
What did you call it?
Sewer water.
That's the first. That's good.
I'll make it very clear. I am not an anti-vaxxer, whatever. Like, I willingly got the jab because I'm so sick of this bullshit. But it doesn't mean I can't not make fun of it. Like, we're all kind of a little bit science experiments, but whatever. I kind of feel like my iPhone 12 is a science experiment. There's all these radios and shit on it. They don't know what that's going to do to my brain with extended use.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh man. So.
But yes, so you started disposable cameras and then you got into PowerShot. So how did
Yeah.
you get into film after the PowerShot?
I think I was just hanging out with a buddy, and he was like, "You know what I want to try?" And he like whipped out, I don't know what it was, like an Olympus whatever or something. And I was like, "Wow, that's really neat. Looks like one of my dad's cameras." And he's like, "Yeah." And then he showed me like his other cameras, and they were like TLRs. And those, are very, very unique looking. So I was like, cool, maybe I'll try it out too. And like I said, like I started with like point and shoot film cameras just because they were readily available at like thrift stores back then for $5.
Yeah.
Um,
Not anymore.
no, not because they know like you can't even go to Goodwill and find an off-brand film camera for more than like $10. It's crazy.
Thanks, Kylie Jenner. Or no, wait, sorry, I did it wrong. Thanks, Obama.
What? Wait, Obama? Why?
Because isn't that what everyone blames? Like, if anything goes wrong, blame
That's true. Yeah. And then, like I said, dang, man, that rabbit hole was gnarly. Like, you can't not want to try every single camera in every single medium and every single film stock, you know?
So you fell down the rabbit hole, but you started with 35 and then ended up going into medium. And have you gone
Yeah.
to large format, or you still kind of like?
The funny thing was with medium format, like I accidentally bought, I think it was Lomo in 120. And it was from like some dude off of eBay who had advertised it as 35 millimeter. And I left him like a 1-star review, and I was like, I don't know what this is, and I don't ever want to use this. Give me my 35 millimeter. And then like, I don't know, it was probably JP or somebody who was like, oh yeah, that's a medium format camera. Here's a medium format camera for you to, or here's a medium format camera for your medium format film. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. But I'll probably never shoot it after. And then I shot it, and I was like, I'm never going back to 35 millimeter ever again.
It's like you meant me 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
So For your medium format, like what's your go-to medium format, or do you have like a stable of medium format cameras that you love?
I have a couple that I've whittled down from like more than a couple. But now exclusively I'm using the Pentax 6.7. That
Nice.
is my favorite.
That's,
Yeah. For a while
that's
it
a
was like,
great camera.
man, tell me about it. That thing is heavy. But I think it's actually lighter than like the RZ, or it feels lighter anyway.
I mean, yeah, the RZ is like a legit murder weapon. It's good for street photography though to have like a camera that has some like, you know, weight behind it, so that if like someone's gonna fuck with you, you can just
Oh,
click them.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why I love my F5 so much for street photography, because like, not only does it take bomb ass photos, but if
Mhm.
someone comes at me, I can just like wing it. They will they will stop in their tracks.
Yeah, knock some teeth loose for sure.
Brandy says that she made the mistake of going on a photo walk with an RZ once.
Oh, shoot. For how many hours though?
Yeah, that's true. Never again. Yeah, Dave says the RB7 home defense camera.
That's valid. Yeah.
I think like my home defense camera would probably be my 4x5 if it was on a tripod.
Your 4x5, what is that one?
I've got a Wista field camera,
It's too pretty. It's too pretty to use as like a weapon.
but if it's home defense and it's folded up, it should be okay.
All right.
Not unfolded. Unfolded, it would totally die. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's. I will not say Dave's other comment out loud because, laws. Just use a tripod. Yeah, that's a good one too. Like I got gifted this like Manfrotto tripod that is just an absolute beast. Like that could
Is,
definitely.
is that like the all metal one back in the 90s? Is that?
It's an all aluminum one, and it comes in its own like sling bag case because like you need the case because it's like you don't just want to carry it around. Like, yeah.
That's cool. Oh my God.
Yeah, I won't say that comment out loud because like, damn, I'm kind of like a gangster over here.
Dave, such a badass.
And
I'm a
respect for
fine
Dave.
country man.
I love that guy. Stanley Film says I have a wood tripod that would impale people with. I mean, if there was a vampire attack, that would be the perfect tripod to have.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, did I enter the camera equipment as murder weapons chat? I mean, on the same token too, that's how I felt when I got my first MacBook Pro 15 back in the day. I was, this is just a huge hunk of fucking, like, I still have it, and I still feel that it's a murder weapon. Like, it's just like this huge chunk of metal. And
Yeah.
I dropped it on a runway once when I was like getting into a plane. I thought my bag was closed and it wasn't, and it just like dented the corner, and it's been fine. Like I've had this thing for like 8 years. Total murder weapon.
That's heavy. I remember being so heavy.
Oh, it's so heavy, but you know, it's a great machine. And
Yeah.
Big Sur didn't kill it yet, so I got that
I'm-
here. Your best self-defense is still always leaving the situation. That's true. Oh man, Waster Silver was robbed at gunpoint for a Nikon D70.
Jokes on them.
That happened during the pandemic because that would have been. I mean, I could understand it if it was like a time when the D70 was still hot shit. Because, like, I mean, I took a loan out to get my D70 back in the day because, like, it was big money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't
That
imagine.
was actually my first DSLR too. That thing was like $900 when it first came out,
Yeah,
like in 2010 or whatever it was. It was bananas.
yeah, it was absolutely banana. And I bought like the whole kit with, and then got like an SB600 and an SB,
Yes.
do all the things, and
Yeah.
um, Oh man, enjoy the sex that I had the same MacBook Pro. The battery blew up, and mine almost blew up, and it scared the shit out of me when I found out about it because I noticed that it wasn't sitting flat when I had it on the table, and I was like, "The fuck is going on?" And I opened the case up because I bought one of those like iFixit kits a while back to fix something else, and I saw that the batteries were all puffy, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's probably not good."
How
Uh,
does that happen?
well, so I used to use this as my main machine all the time, so it would just be plugged in and hooked up to like two monitors. And
Mm,
charging it all the time is not really a good idea because the batteries don't like that. And then just also with age, like when batteries get old, they just get funky, and lithium ion batteries will explode eventually. So, PSA, check your batteries often, kids. The more you know.
uh,
Whoa, someone still shoots a D50. Yeah, I felt bad for those dudes. That was like the guys that got all their stuff stolen, William Verbeck and those other all the YouTuber kids.
yeah.
Yeah, but someone found some cheap gear, I'm sure, later.
Well, it just blows my mind that like I don't know what is this black market or underground, you know, I don't know, like smuggling ring that we don't know about because people are getting their shit stolen every single day and you see it being posted, but like nobody can find the stuff. So where's it going? That's what I want to know. Like I think JP was still looking for his stuff a couple months ago. That was months after it got stolen. He still couldn't find, you know, anything.
It's
So
kind of like so there's some like weird apps sometimes. So yeah, and Dave makes a great comment. Keep your serial numbers all the time. So I keep like a spreadsheet now on my OneDrive so that it's like saved somewhere all the time. And I like write all the serial numbers down of all the gear that I have because that was what saved me with my F5. I didn't write it down because I didn't start thinking about this, but a friend of mine always wanted an F5, and he's like, "Send me pictures, send me all the pictures of it." So I took like all these photos of the F5, and one of them was a photo of the back where you could clearly see the serial number. And I like trolled Craigslist and Kijiji and like all like Facebook Mark, all the places that I knew of to like see if the camera would show. And it was like just a bit over a month, and I gave up, and I was like, I'm never gonna see it again. Um, and a friend of mine told me about this other app called Let Go that I think it's dead now, but she was like, "Yo, is this your camera?" And it was. It was like on this totally random like app I'd never heard of before. And so I went and confronted the dude with my serial number and
oh
got
damn.
the camera back.
You think he was the guy that took it? Or he
No, I think his girlfriend took it. Um,
what?
well, so there's like an irony to the theft of it. Um, I shoot mostly for like mental health reasons. Like it's just sort of like it's a way to exercise the demons.
Hmm.
And I was doing this show at a gallery which I kind of vowed I'd never do another show with because I just didn't really like them. But then they sent me an email being like, "Hey, we're doing like a show and we're partnering with like this mental health agency in Toronto and like, do you want to participate?" And I kind of felt obligated because I'm like, well, this is like why I shoot and like, I guess one last show with these guys. And so I put some work in there, and it was like a long show. We'd been there all evening, and it was like the last like half hour or so. They told us to put all of our stuff in the basement and that it would be fine and safe in the basement because that's where all our artist stuff were. And someone there wanted to see a copy of my book, so I went down and grabbed um, a copy of my book from my backpack, and I just didn't really feel like carrying my camera anymore because like I've got like all the pictures that I wanted to carry, and like the F5 it's a beefy boy. So I left it with my backpack, and I had my backpack open because like I pulled a copy of my book out, and I had two MacBooks in there. So it's like there's two MacBooks and a bunch of other cameras in the F5.
Jeez.
And I was only gone like 15 minutes. I went back down to like put the book back in there. And when I was walking down the stairs, I noticed these two girls that were like walking up the stairs that looked like kind of like they were not up to, and I was like, hey, like, are you one of the artists? And they were like, ah, and they kind of like ran away. I didn't think anything of it, but when I got down there, camera was gone. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I thought maybe I misplaced it and put it somewhere else there. And yeah, it just really it really fucked me up. And then when I was like messaging this dude about the camera, the username was like a girl's username, and he kept being like, oh, like I'm selling this for my girlfriend, and like just she set all this stuff up. So I think it was like one of them that took it, but it just kind of sucked. And like I kind of like lost it on him about it because he's like, oh, sorry bro, I didn't steal it. And I'm like, well, someone fucking did. Now we're here, and like you have my camera and you're a total fucking stranger to me. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry bro. I'm like, no, you shut the fuck up. Like, you don't get to talk anymore on this one. You just listen to me now. And I just like, you obviously know who took this, and like, if you do talk to them, like, hopefully they can get the help they fucking need. But like, we have a camera store here in Canada, which sucks, called Henry's. And I was like, if they need to fucking steal shit, tell them to steal from fucking Henry's instead of Henry's. Is like, at least they have like some sort of like fucking loss prevention or something. But like, if you're stealing from a person, that sucks. Cause like, I've seen some comments of having insurance on the thread here, but the problem with insuring like old gear, unless you're like having a fucking Leica or like Hasselblad or some shit like that on there, most insurance companies are going to give you fuck all for a Nikon. So like, having insurance makes sense if you have like brand new digital gear and you're covering like all this other stuff or like really, really expensive film stuff. But like, you know, for general film stuff that we most have, um, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the cops didn't give a fuck. Like, I called them, and like when I gave them the values, they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever. Check pawn shops." And I was like, "Cool, fuck you."
Yep.
Defund the police. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I want to. This is
No,
supposed to be about you.
that's I mean that's horrific and it sucked, but I'm glad you got it back.
Have you ever had any of your shit stolen?
Dude, you like if I answer that truthfully, I'm gonna get all my shit stolen. So no,
Okay, you better like, yeah,
I've
absolutely.
never.
But you know someone that has, so you can live vicariously through JP. So
Sure, that's what I want to do.
I was very sad when I saw the news of his stuff. That was
Yeah, and it's only gotten worse. I mean, well, yeah, his shit, and then the YouTubers with all of their stuff, and even when you know not to put things in your car, like it doesn't matter because they're just breaking in anyway, just to see if you have anything. That sucks too. Like they'll just smash your windows to take a peek. So,
well, yeah, and that's it. And like Dave made some comments here of like, his gear always comes with him, and I'm the same way. And like, I would like to take more gear with me when I'm like just driving around in general, because like there's like a book project I've been working on, and if I had my gear just sitting in the car all the time, and I saw stuff as I was driving around, I could go take pictures of it. But then on the same token, there's days where it's like I don't really see anything that's interesting, but I don't want like have to have my backpack and like two low pro bags like lugging around with me every time I'm like fucking leaving my car for more than 5 minutes. Like,
yeah. Well, I put like my 4x5 in one of those like rollies,
oh
the
yeah,
hard rollies, and
what
like
kind of rollie did you get for it?
so my partner got me that. What? How do you? I don't know how to say it. Is it a nano? A nook?
A nook?
Um,
I don't know.
yeah, it's like a pelican. It's like a pelican, but without the pelican price.
Someone stole your catalytic converter?
Oh, yeah. Who
What?
said? Yeah. Well, I was they almost stole my catalytic converter. Like my window, my bedroom window faces the garage where I park my car, and my car was outside that night. It was like 5 a.m. The sun was already out. People were fucking walking their dogs, and I hear this noise that sounds like metal scraping on metal. And I'm like, oh, it's, my neighbor who likes to work on cars, but it's fucking 5 in the morning. And then it just like persisted. And I was like, what the heck? So I got up and I looked out the window and I see like, here's my car, right? And all I see is a head like poking out, like kind of just peeking. I'm like, what the fuck? So I was like banging on my window. I see the guy rolling out and like just running away. So like I go down there and I was like, my catalytic converter's like hanging off. So he already like was halfway through sawing it off on one side. And then I turned the car on, not knowing that that's what a catalytic converter did was like, I still don't know. It
Your
just,
car was like, "Rah!"
yeah, it like woke up the whole neighborhood and I was like, God damn. So
What kind of car do you have?
it was like a really old 2012, maybe 20, no, 2006 Honda. Sorry,
Oh,
it's not my partner's car, but yeah. So it was like we took it to the muffler shop, and every car that came through was because they had their catalytic converter stolen too.
oh, that's
So
rude.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's a new thing. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but
I haven't had that, but someone stole the fucking chrome exhaust tip off of my car, and it's like
what?
just a stock Volvo one. I didn't even notice. Like, I just noticed one day, I'm like, why is my fucking exhaust all rusty and shit? And then I
Yeah,
looked at other pictures I had of my car, and I was like, oh yeah, my car used to have like a chrome tip on it. And
that's just so weird. That's just like somebody not wanting to go to AutoZone or whatever, pick up that part.
yeah, it's like I'm too broke to go to Pep Boys.
Yeah, dude,
The cat thing, that's like fucking brutal in the U.S. right now.
it
Um,
is.
yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, my buddy Chris Vister, like after I told him, he was like, "Dang, that sucks, dude." And then a week later, he's like, "They got me too." I
Oh,
was
shit,
like,
I love Chris. Great. I met
"Yeah,
him at the Film Padea in 2019.
nice."
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's he's a good person. He's funny.
Yeah, I mean, all part of the community. Like, yeah, there's so many great folks in the film community. That's wild. Um, yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of comments that shit's crazy in San Francisco right now.
It is. It sucks.
I So the one thing that I did kind of get a kick out of though in the news during like the pandemic when y'all got like locked down though was like all the wildlife taking the city back.
I don't know if I saw that. What? Oh, you mean like the bears and the mountain lions?
Well, like the coyotes like running through downtown and shit.
Oh, yeah, that's more like the I don't know what that would be equivalent to in Canada. Like San Francisco is downtown Vancouver. And then do you guys have any like bougie mountain um or like seascape cities or towns around there?
Oh yeah, there's like West Vancouver and North Vancouver and Cole Harbor and we're having like wicked bad coyote issues in Stanley Park right now, which is like our central park kind of thing, where they've actually had to like shut down the park after 7 now. Because like the coyotes have been like harassing and attacking people. Like they bit some dude in the ass while he's doing yoga
No.
chased a kid around. And it sounds awful, but also hilarious. Like I would probably pay money to like watch a coyote chase a dude doing yoga.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I guess those neighborhoods are equivalent to the ones that are being overrun again by wildlife, but not like San Francisco, because it's kind of like a concrete jungle. There's really no greens and no parks, not big parks anyway. But yeah, um, it's it's been wild. It's been a wild year.
Yeah, well, it's been a wild like 2 years. Like it feels like 2020 didn't even happen in a way.
Yes.
Because it's just like, there was like 2019 and then 5 years later it was 2018.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that like Delta and COVID and everything like calms its tits down by like next year, because I would like to go back to the Bay Area or Polacon Bay Area next year, which usually happens in the springtime. And
I feel like places like San Francisco like would be safe to travel to. I mean, I think today we reported like 81% of the population has been vaccinated, like fully vaccinated.
yeah,
So it's fine, but it's like all the other places in America.
yeah, like Texas. Idaho apparently is doing extremely well. Um, I saw some memes going around about like how it started and how it's going, and I guess like a while back they were like, parents were getting their kids to like burn masks and burning barrels because they're like Idaho is safe, and it's not now. They're like having some massive issues. So
Yeah.
wild. And yeah, like the last place I traveled to in the U.S. was San Francisco. Like I was there for Polacon Bay Area the weekend that it started shutting down because of COVID. That was like such a fucking trip.
Jeez.
Edwards, when is Polacon? It's usually in the springtime, I think, is when they do the Polacon Bay Area stuff. So, and like in the Bay Area Instant Films or like Film Society, they do like photo walks and shit all the time. So you
Mhm.
you can check that out, because it's definitely worth it. Brandy says she got lost in the Tenderloin once and had no idea where she was, and only found it was even called that because it was randomly following people and taking their photos, and a friend saw the images and said, "Oh my God, were you in the Tenderloin?" Yeah, it's not a place you want to kind of wander around alone.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's got, I don't know like how it was when you were there, but there's like encampments now, and it's usually where all of the breakouts are of like our COVID cases and stuff. And like because I work in the Department of Public Health, and like our emergency response dude like had to respond to it was an SRO, which is like single room occupancy hotel for like lower income people or sometimes like homeless people. So they get placed into these SROs, and one of them was COVID positive, decided to turn their SRO into a meth lab,
Holy,
produce and then sell it, right? And so all these people were like going in and using in that guy's SRO, and then it turned into like a super spreader event, as well as like a meth lab. So I'm like, I don't know which is worse.
yeah, that's
Disney.
wild. And then someone's saying, "Watch out for poop in the streets." That's true. I heard that there's like a poop app for San Francisco.
What?
Yeah, there's like an app where like people can be like, "Saw poop this corner," and you can like get poop warning. But you also, if you own animals, you have to watch out for that kind of shit too, because this is happening in Toronto, and I think to a degree a little bit in some areas here in Vancouver, where pets have been dying because they go to parks and they eat poop that drug users have pooped out, and there's
Oh
poop,
shit.
and then the dogs overdose because of the drug poop.
Oh my God. So they're eating human feces.
Yeah.
Uh, That's so nasty.
Well, I mean, dogs love poop.
Dogs love poop. I didn't know that. That makes me
Uh,
sad. This is what my face is conveying.
you haven't owned a dog yet, eh?
No, I have not.
Oh man. Well, if you ever decide to own a dog, get ready for like poop everywhere. They
Me.
they love eating poop. There's just poo explosions. So owning an animal is a very rich experience.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of crazy, wild stuff that no one will tell you about. But yeah, it's a hell of an experience, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But man, that's crazy. So what kind of stuff do you like? What do you do in your day job then?
Oh man. Yeah, I've been like super burnt out lately and I haven't been on any kind of social media, and that's why like our communication was kind of sparse leading up to all this. So I apologize for that. But
No worries.
like it's kind of been all hands on deck with COVID since March, like of 2 years ago. But now we're kind of normalizing going back to our own stuff. And I do like part of what I do is like the massage and body art aspect of things. What did someone say?
AP just said Han adopted me because I'm potty trained.
uh
I don't know. I think JP's probably still work in progress. I get the feeling that he might not be as potty trained as he thinks he is.
forever, man, that guy. Yeah, so part of what I do is uh, I kind of regulate the massage and body art um, industry, but then part of that is also like combating human and sex trafficking, and that's kind of what I was like prepping for, the litigation stuff of the sex trafficking side of things. So kind of burnt out, kind of tired.
So I'm like I know kind of how it is in Canada with that kind of stuff, but like in the States, is it where like it's illegal for the Johns to like pay for the stuff, but it's not illegal for the people to provide the service?
Yes, it's fucking backwards. Like we'll go in, and I mean it's like we'll go into these raids with PD and like SVU and other people or other agencies, and like the Johns are all there with their dicks out and stuff, and like the women are like, oh, we're just offering massages completely naked, right? But then the cops will be like, all right, women, you have to stay behind because you're gonna get cited. Johns, just put on your clothes and go home to your fucking wives. So
So the Johns don't get in shit.
no, they don't get. That's what you said, right? They don't get in trouble for buying
The other way around here.
Oh.
The dudes can get in trouble. Not, I think. Also, when the SVU people show up, is it like dun dun?
They carry around that soundtrack. Yeah, yeah.
I can tell myself. I fucking love that show.
It's pretty good.
So what you're saying then is you've seen some shit.
Oh yeah, I have. I think I'm pretty sure I can talk about it because it's already going through litigation. I mean, I don't know. It's explicit. Like, is this photo chat worthy?
Yeah, I mean it's whatever we want to chat about.
Um,
It's
yeah.
getting to know you as the photographer.
Um, the first like big sting that I went out on, like we went to this huge brothel, and like the hard part about these things is like we send in our own decoy, and then PD also sends in their own decoy, but they do it beforehand. It's kind of like to verify like this is still a brothel, it's active, this is how many players are part of it, so that when we go in there, we know and we're kind of like, preparing for the type of people that we could run into. So we sent in our decoy and he was like, oh, it's kind of slow today. Like radioing back to us and stuff. And then so like we go in there and it's me and one dude and he's like, all right, you take the left and I'll take the right. It's slow. There's only like two women working. So we shouldn't find anything. And the first door I open is like the 70-year-old woman. She's like on her knees and like she just, she's down there servicing like a big old Russian dude.
Wow.
And like I come in and I'm like, oh, this is so awkward. Like, because I want to turn away, but I can't because it's part of my job to document what you're doing. And also my camera doesn't have flash and it's really dark in there. So like, can you not move real quick while I get this photo? Um, and so she's like,
That answered Dave's question because Dave was wondering if you get to take pictures while you're doing that work.
yes, I have to take pictures while I'm doing that work.
Do they not give you like a really fast like this should be like why you get 1.4 like wide angle so you can like get in there and just be like pow
This
pow.
is government. They're like Canon power shot. Yes,
Or
or
you
the
got
shot.
like you should get them to buy you an infrared camera so you can just like go in there and like do Ouija shots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or like even I don't know, like body cams to record things. But so like she like pulls away and the guy's like, we weren't doing anything. And I'm like, okay, well, how about she answer some questions? So I'm
It's
like,
like
hey, who's this guy?
well
So I'm like, who is this guy? And she's like, and I was like, no, like answer me. Like, what's your name? What's your relation to him? What's his relation to you? Whatever. And she's like, she grabs a cup that's on the nightstand. She goes,
you literally got there just at like
and I was like, "Bleh. Okay, I'll be right back." Yeah. So that was
wow.
interesting.
I mean, there's a lot of comments here saying you should just use an iPhone. They have a very great camera. You know,
I guess
and the
you know
iPhone
what?
15 has like even better low light stuff apparently.
No, like you guys don't understand. This is government. I have an iPhone 6 for work. That's what they gave me. I thought they were like, I don't know, doing some kind of funny initiation when they gave me that shit. I was like, it's like 20, I think when I started it was like 2019. We're on like the iPhone 50 or something, and they handed me this, tiny 6. So I was like, no, that's not real. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm working with. Like,
Wow.
no, I don't have any equipment.
You gotta get in on that police budget. Those guys probably have like all the money.
They do.
Whereas hand captured the decisive moment.
It was nasty. It was so gross.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah, and then
that's something that like, sticks with you. Like you've just told me the story, and like that's something that I will probably never. And there's a funny thing here. JP's like, "Can you make a zine from the busts?" And there's like a double entendre to that one because it's like you're busting things, but like Russian dude also busted.
well, yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. He did.
Yeah,
It's kind of gross.
I mean, this could like be really good material to like write a book or something at like at a later time.
I think you know what they as in like news crews used to follow around SFDPH and like PD when they did their stings. So it's like somewhere on YouTube, like a couple episodes of this.
Wow.
Yeah,
Someone's asking, what did you do when everything was shut down in the city? Like, were these places still open?
absolutely. Yeah, they just went like further underground. Like even our Johns couldn't access them because they would like do things where like now you had to have a passcode that had to be texted to you by one of the like the women working and like we couldn't for whatever reason like legally do that. The attorneys were no, that's way beyond like our scope of jurisdiction stuff.
Damn.
Yeah,
So you're like your decoy guys, they can't like go all the way and not get in
they
trouble.
can't go away. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably really disappointing for a few of them.
Yeah, the ones that sign up are like, we're really ready for this. I'm like,
Yeah, they're like government job to like do. It's like no, it's not like that, bro. Here's your iPhone 5, and like you're gonna have for like, the rest of your life.
exactly.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, do you use your practice to escape from these things that you see at work at all?
What do you mean? Like, elaborate on that.
Like when you're done like doing the work thing and you're like, I'm gonna go bust out the medium format baddie and take some photos. Like, do you um use that as a way, like as like a therapeutic way to like sort of process what you've happened to work, or do you like use any of the things you've experienced at work to like fuel your practice at all?
Hmm. Um, no, unfortunately not. Like, because I get so burnt out, especially, like with large cases like this. Um, because like there's just so much to do to prep for the litigation that I'm so exhausted by the time that I'm home. And I'm just like, I just want to sleep. And then on the weekends, I'm like, I would love to just also catch up on more sleep. So there's very little of any shooting when I'm preparing for a case. Um, yeah, but I will say that like photography in general has been really good for me because I didn't really have like hobbies that I dove into for a really long time and I kind of just stuck with. It would be like fads, if anything. Like I don't know what was a thing like a Tamagotchi. Like I feel like
How many do you kill?
oh my God, so many. It was ridiculous. Like that's why that's probably subconsciously why I know I cannot have a dog. I'm just like, mm-mm.
It's just like, there's all these buried Tamagotchis in the background.
Yeah, R.I.P. dude.
I killed a couple of them too. Yeah.
Just a couple. That's good. But no, yeah, like I couldn't stick with anything long enough. And then like this happened and yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice to like have things to look forward to because, like you have ideas for projects or you want to shoot people and you want to like hang out with people who also like what you like. So I've been
Maybe
very
pick up like a Ricoh like GR3 or something to just have with you, and you can just like bust out street photos when, because that could be like an interesting opportunity to like get some grimy street photos like when you're like preparing
yeah,
raids and stuff like that.
yeah, I've definitely thought about it. I'm like, I don't want it to get confiscated because if they found out like I was doing that, they could subpoena um the
No, no,
the
not photos like inside the raid, but just like before the raid and like in the neighborhoods and
like the
stuff like that. Yeah,
right.
yeah, like
These are my cop buddies.
yeah,
Blue light. I'm just kidding. Don't
like
talk
look at
about
things like that.
it.
No, just be kind of like you're probably going to like different
Yeah,
neighborhoods and stuff all the time. Like that could be an interesting thing to like even use like disposables could be kind of cool for that.
right.
Like have
Yeah.
that grimy look. Would be like kind of perfect, the lomography reusable disposable.
Okay.
Got like a
Yeah,
nice wide lens to it, and
right.
if they did confiscate it from you, like worst thing, you just lose the roll of film. Like
Right.
you have
Yeah.
a roll of film and like $15.
No, that reminded me. Do you follow Charles? I think he's like Charles dot WTF or something. But
No,
he like recently posted a photo of one of the places that we shut down in 2018. And it was like the green door, and I think their logo was like "Come for Oriental Happy Time" or something like that.
I have a photo of the green door. It's like
Shut your
right
mouth!
by the tunnel, right?
Yes,
Fuck yeah, I do.
dude. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I shut her down in 28 or like our team did in 2018.
Oh
It was
man,
like kind of a sad story, but like we walked in.
it's been around for so long.
Oh my God, so long. It's like a historic site, basically. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
So how do you feel about ruining that lady's life?
No, I do feel really bad. Like she ended up getting, it was either like throat or like cheek cancer, something really bizarre. And it was because like she was using so many, like, I don't know what it was, like medical grade, what the fuck do you call it? Mouthwash, like just really potent mouthwash because of what she was doing.
Huh.
Um, and yeah, then she ended up getting cancer, and then she ended up like losing her house and having to live there. But like when we went in, like, she was busy for freaking, like, I think she was 72. She
God
had
damn.
like dogs coming in. We were rating it. Like five guys came in, and Petey was like, "We're like right here, dude. Like chill out."
It's
But
like we thought cops got lonely too. Man,
yeah, no,
wild.
that one I do feel really bad about, because I mean, like, people do what they have to do, right? I don't know. Like, I kind of am just like, well, if it's not a public nuisance really, and people are making the decision to put themselves in, these types of situations, like the Johns, I mean, like to possibly catch some kind of sexually transmitted disease, like that's on them. I mean, that might be like, justice in and of itself. Why are we going to, like you said, yeah, like ruin somebody's life? But
Yeah.
I don't get paid.
I remember like going past that place a ton of times because like whenever I would stay in San Francisco on my own dime, I would stay at the Green Tortoise Hostel in like the stripper area
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's hella cheap. Like it's hotels are fucking expensive in San Francisco.
Yes.
Um, but there was like along a corridor where I'd like to go to like work and stuff like that. I would like pass by the green door all the
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
that was a cool building.
It was. Yeah. I mean, it's still standing, and I think there's like squatters in there now, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
The
wild.
more,
What a small world. Like,
yeah.
this
Yes.
is what I like about the chat though, is like you never know what kind of things you're gonna learn about the person you're chatting with or what they do. Like, it's fascinating all the different things we do outside of photography.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I dig uh this chat, as in like your ongoing chats.
How did you get into that then? Like this is something
That
you
line of work?
yeah.
Oh, I mean, so it's like, it's really weird. They categorize it as environmental health. Has nothing to do with the environment. It's more like public health and safety, right?
Okay.
Um, and like one of the things that you could do if you went into environmental health is like be a food inspector. But that's fucking, like, I'd blow my brains out if I had to do that. I hate doing that. It's the worst.
Sometime in the distant future, a food inspector who is also a hobby photographer is gonna look at this episode and just be like, "My career is bullshit."
Some people love it. I absolutely hate it.
I think
Yeah,
I would rather like see a Russian dude blow his load than run into like gnarly, dirty food all the time. Yeah.
yeah. Dude, I've walked in on like literal pimps, like just, sauntering around a massage establishment. I'm like,
Like
this
you
is not, this is
the shit.
like the whole outfit, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, oh my God, this is bananas. This is my life. I love it. It's so fun. And then like you have to act like you don't know what's going on, because like, you need PD to go in there, like, to get the evidence and stuff. And like he's like, "Oh no, baby, don't worry. I'm just here visiting for the day." And I'm like, "All right." Also, you in like a purple velour suit. It's like 80 degrees out. You got gold teeth. I don't know. I'm not trying to.
It's like,
It's
yo,
like no
I'm in a
implicit
toque.
bias or
I'm
anything.
like, yeah, it's like I'm in a toque and I'm burning up right now, and you're like fucking blocking in your
Yeah. Suffice to say, fun job.
You went to school for environmental studies, and
Well, I looked at rocks. I studied geology and biology.
wow. So
Yeah.
like, school Han had no foresight into like what
Yeah.
Adultron is doing now to pay for medium format film.
Yeah, correct. Oh man, good
Wow, that
time.
I would I think you so far have gotten the award for most interesting job a guest has had so far. Uh,
Uh,
yeah, you win that one for sure.
no, I don't know if that's a good thing though.
A great thing, like um, yeah, it,
I think I'm just saying that because like I'm just kind of like at a point where I'm like this just sucks. I hate it. But
what
like
would you
'cause, yeah, what would I rather do?
yeah, if
Man,
any job in the world or like anything in the world, what would you do?
and I could like get paid whatever I wanted. Like I would be paid well. Um, I just want to read books in bed all day. Is that a thing?
I mean, if you could find a sugar daddy, you could probably make that happen. You would just have to send him probably like feet pictures while you're like reading the books or something.
That is doable. Feet, sure.
Would that be something that would fall under a category though in your work that you could get busted for?
I think feet is okay. Like there's explicit language on what areas of your body you can and cannot show, and feet is not mentioned, so neither are ankles. So good for us.
Ankles. I've never thought about that before, but I'm sure that like that's probably a kink for some people out there. Um,
I mean, yeah.
some people said book editor or critic would be that. But see, like that would be work though, because you're not just getting paid to read, you're getting paid to read, and then you have to write scathing reviews of like,
Right. Yeah, I don't want to do any evaluations. I just want to be like, I read that book. Check mark, done. Thank you. Next. You know,
yeah.
that's it. That would be my dream job.
I mean, I could totally feel that because like my dream job would just to be like paid to drive around in a van and talk to people.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and eat good food.
Oh yeah. That would be nice.
JP says read books for audiobook co. But then that's work because like you're not reading in your head. You have to like read it out loud and that would probably get annoying at some point.
What does that mean? Like I'm reading books like for Audible, those narrators?
Yeah, so it's like someone would be listening to you reading that book.
Oh, then I have to like have an accent when they require it. I can't do that.
Or it's like someone calls you, it's like you're like reading this book and it's like, yeah, what no, fuck off. Like I'm in the middle of reading this fucking book right now. Anyways, back to the book. Yeah.
Uh,
That'd actually be kind of funny. That
yeah.
Mr. Silver says I used to edit books on tape. That was boring. Um, yeah, I mean, it. JP's like, do you not read your books out loud? I think most of us who have like graduated beyond like a grade one kindergarten level don't really read out loud anymore. Sorry, JP.
Uh,
I do mouth things though when I'm reading books. I'll like kind of yeah. So I don't
yeah.
reading in public because I do capture that sometimes. So it's like I'm like 50% of the way to reading out loud when I'm reading books. Yeah. So
Uh,
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, that's different if you're reading books out loud to somebody. That's not reading really out loud. That's you're reading a book to somebody. So like you're telling them a story.
yeah, that's that's adorbs.
I also sometimes when I'm writing, I will like speak out the words when I'm writing things down.
Like like you're gonna write a sentence and then you speak it out, the entire sentence. That's what you mean?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I just think anything that JP does is okay to criticize, you know, but that's just my take.
Dave's like, oh, so I'm not somebody if I read to myself. I mean, it depends how many somebodies you are housing at the moment. Like, you could be somebody if you're reading to yourself. Yeah, that would. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. Someone said reading Rainbow. I mean, LeVar Burton. That's a
Dude,
national treasure right there. That that man's a gift.
yes. Should have been chosen to host Jeopardy, but
Yeah, racists. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Maybe the next round. I mean, it was a terrible tragedy. Like Alex Trebek
yeah.
was a gem, and Will Ferrell did a fantastic job impersonating him on SNL.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Did you really?
Oh my God, you've never seen the Will Ferrell? Oh,
No, no.
you need to look that shit up because
Yeah.
there is an amazing fucking Will Ferrell as Trebek, and then Daryl Hannah as Sean Connery, and there's this like back and forth between the two of them that is just chef's kiss. It's so
That's
fucking
pretty fun.
good.
Wait, Daryl Hannah, the actress, right? She's playing Sean Connery.
No, no, Daryl Hannah, he's like a longtime SNL comedian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might know who you're talking about, but yeah.
He's a great impersonator. It was great. And then, rest in peace, Norm Macdonald played Burt Reynolds on it a few times. And yeah, his Burt Reynolds was like pretty on. Yeah, Daryl Hammond. Sorry, yeah, I fucked that up completely wrong. Um, in the ballpark though, so close enough. But
Mhm. I'll look it up.
yeah, where he's got this one where it's like, it's album covers, and he's like, I had an idea for an anal bum cover once. It would have made me millions.
Oh man.
Yeah, most of what he says to Trebek, I probably can't say on the live, but definitely, yeah, suck it, Trebek. Suck it, Trebek. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for sharing so much. I had no idea that the chat would have gone the direction it did.
Oh man, it was fun. It was really fun. I really appreciate you asking me to be on this. I mean, there were so many good ones, you know. I
Oh,
love um, I was like ecstatic to see that you had so many female photographers on here. And it was like even before the whole, you know, feature more or just be more inclusive thing was happening. Like there was already forethought from you, so I really appreciate that.
it was mostly because when I look at a lot of the like YouTubers stuff out there and things like that, it's just a lot of like bro downs, and I don't really enjoy like hearing a bunch of bros jerking off about how much they love their gear and stuff like that. Just never really found it that interesting.
Mhm.
Um, so I wanted to look for different perspectives and hear from like more interesting people, and like I am very lucky to know so many amazing female photographers even before the amplification started, which Danielle, who was bigging this up earlier. uh,
Mhm.
it's amazing what she started with the Wednesday film shooter thing. um, you know I I'm glad to see that there's more of that happening, and even just like the idea started coming too from like hearing from female model friends complaining about like what their experiences were like shooting with a lot of like
Yeah.
male photographers, and just how a lot of them are just like, I probably won't shoot with like men that often anymore though, and like preferring to shoot with more female photographers. And so I just wanted to hear a more diverse perspective. Um, so I make an effort to spread things out a little bit and get different people in, and even like not just photographers. So like I've had a few people on whose practices were kind of like photography adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't photographers per se, but they like used cameras in their like practice and things like that. Because I thought it would be neat to sort of just hear more of that. Because yeah, you can only hear so many times like, "What's your favorite film stock?" and like,
Right.
favorite focal length. What is your favorite film stock?
Man, it's probably Portrait for begrudgingly saying that.
Begrudgingly, Portra 400.
I just, I mean, like, I still don't get the hype, but at the same time, I do. It's because it's so consistent that I love it so much.
I
But
Portra is like you can just abuse it so much,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it'll always give you something nice.
right.
Um, I do like the 400, but I've been digging the 800 a little bit.
That's
Um,
like big money.
yeah, it does have a really cool look to it though when you overexpose it. But if you do like Portra and you don't like the Kodak prices,
Hmm.
the Lomo 400 has really impressed me a lot.
Yes, I
It,
really like their whole color series too. But I
yeah,
don't know, like right now, I'm just so angry at lomography.
well,
Um,
Lomography, spill the tea.
Dude, the whole what is it, Lomograph walk back? Like, weren't they supposed to send it out sometime this week or maybe next week? And like, it's been radio silence. But every single YouTuber has gotten their hands on it. So I'm like, should I just start a YouTube channel just so I can fucking try out the Lomograph lock, even though I pre-ordered it? It's kind of like one of those things where I think they're putting more PR into spreading the word about it, but then no one really has the final product yet when
So
they.
I gotta agree with Dave's comment there. Graph lock is a joke. I love Lomography. I'm sorry, Birgit. Um, but I just don't. I don't feel the hype on the graph lock back thing because it's just like um, if you're gonna if you want to shoot instax in a 4x5, you can just do what Dave's been doing for years. Just like load it in a thing and it'll work better than the graph lock because the graph lock back is it's like set back too, and so there's like a bunch of weird funky shit with it. So um, I'm not super disappointed with them in that. Um, oh, a bunch of people you can find the podcast version of these chats on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, Amazon, um, Audible, I think. They're on like pretty much all of the podcast platforms. I'm usually like an episode or two behind on doing the download things because I have a really kludgy process for it. It's like I download the IGTV so that I could upload it to YouTube, and then I use it programmed to steal the MP3 from the YouTube onto the thing. And it's oh, just if you search photography chat with Merlin on Spotify, it should come up on Spotify or the Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. It's there. I promise it is. Um, yeah, but I'm usually behind on doing the updates because like I do all this by myself and
Yeah,
it's for fun. But yeah, like um, I could see why people would be grumpy at Lomo for that, but I like their films a lot.
I
Like
do too, but I'm not gonna say it out loud for a while. I'm still salty.
And they might do 4x5 film. They've teased it.
With preloaded light leaks too?
No, maybe, I don't know. I mean, you could like light leak it when you're like fucking loading it in the thing.
No,
Um,
I'm always getting light leaks
on
with
your
their. Yes. Wait, on my what?
which film do you get light leaks with on medium format?
Yeah,
On
100,
the paper
400.
suck.
Yeah. And they're like the leader is so short. That's why.
Okay, so let me re-preface my statement of liking lomography. I like lomography film a lot because I primarily only shoot 35 millimeter with it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the times that I have shot 120 with it, I want to like fucking kick it over like Jack Black did to Will Ferrell's dog in Anchorman. It just makes me so angry sometimes. Yeah, yeah. But I don't need to buy any 120 film because I have like way too much. Like a local store here, Dave's like Lomo can eat a fart. A local store here had a big stock of Pro 400H, and I bought like
Oh,
12 Pro packs of it.
before the spike?
Yeah,
Nice. That's awesome.
I got it for like $9 a roll.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then I got suckered in because I saw that Ben from the Instantgram,
Yeah.
he was like sharing that Cinestill Red Rum stuff,
Yeah.
like the film that got fucked up and
Mhm.
now red scale. I bought a bunch of that too. So I'm good with 120. Lomo won't get my money for 120 for a while.
Oh man, Loma.
Yeah. It's an all right film. And I love Kodak too. They just charge so much goddamn money lately.
I know, dude. It doesn't make sense. Like that's kind of where I'm at now. Like, well, rather questioning like at what price point will it just not make sense anymore per roll to shoot film? So, I don't know. I think it's getting there, man.
It's
It's
getting close.
yeah. And like before when I was developing my own stuff, it was okay. Like I wasn't really paying attention to price hikes for film. 'Cause I was like, well, I'll make up for it, by being my own lab and scanning everything myself. But now that I'm sending everything out, it just I don't know.
Um,
It makes
Enjoy the
sense.
Static is asking if Kodak Pro Image 100 is any good. Yes, it is good.
I've
Pro
heard
Image
it.
100 is like it's beautiful. It has like this like creaminess to it and this really nice grain. Um, yeah, it's good. I like the Pro 100. Um, it's a great film, and a bunch of people were saying you should be my co-host podcasting, but I don't do this in a real podcast style, so I can't. I don't
And
know.
you're a one-man show. It photography chat with Merlin sounds better than photography chat with Merlin and so and so. So, there's that.
Yeah, but maybe one day we could do like a different kind of podcast where it's just like um, what's
Just hot takes, and we just say everything that you shouldn't say on a podcast.
yeah, like the anti-photography podcast. Everything about everything not about photography, but only talking exclusively to photographers.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea actually. That would be fun.
That'd be kind of funny. I
Uh,
down with that. Brandy says that she needs film to survive. I kind of agree with that, but like I'm in the same boat as you. Like I've moved to Vancouver now from Toronto, and I found a lab here that I really like or trust. So I'm still sending all of my stuff back to Toronto, and that means like instead of like shooting a roll or two and dropping it off, I'm like saving up 20 or 30 rolls and then just bending over when I get the invoice for how much it is, and it's just like, ugh.
I can't even imagine. Oh my God. Are you getting it scanned too, all of your stuff? Or are you scanning stuff? Oh my
I
goodness.
scanning so much.
I know.
It's the worst.
It really is. Do
You
you want
should
to
you do your scans.
see the stupid setup that I have just to kind of make
Yes.
it a little bit efficient?
Yes.
I don't know how to turn my camera. Oh no, I figured it out. Okay, look. So I have this for 4x5,
Okay. What is that? The Epson V600 or V?
the 850.
Oh, look at you balling out.
And then I have this and this for fucking 120 and 35 if I ever even shoot 135.
Dude, how do you hate scanning? You have like all of the good scanning
It's still
shit.
worse. Like it doesn't make anything faster. It just makes things sharper. Like, and I get like, large ass raw files, but I'm still waiting, I don't know, fucking forever for one roll just to scan. And it's annoying, like on the cool scans, because the film holders will only take like two frames. So you have to cut it all weird first, and you
Oh,
can't just feed it into the machine. You have to use the film holders.
huh.
So
They like Downtown Camera, who I use, they don't really charge that much more to do the dev scan. Like
oh, that's
it's
good.
like like American, it'd be like $12 a roll for a dev and scan, basically. Uh,
Okay.
so it's just like I've worked out like I know what my cost per hour is, and
Hmm.
it's like this is how I used to justify things when I was married too. Is I figured out what my value per hour is, and I would apply it to things like mowing the lawn. I fucking hated mowing the lawn. And if I could pay someone less than what my time was worth based off of my calculation to do the lawn, then that's still a net savings. So I use this with my ex-wife to justify having a lawn dude because I fucking hated mowing.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, because it's a very I think everyone should spend some time and figure out like what your hourly worth is,
Yeah.
because then it allows you to justify being lazy with a lot of other things. Um, and I've applied that to film development and scanning because I like developing film. It's fun. It's fun.
Hmm.
I just hate scanning so much. It's just the
I
worst.
think I got to a point where I was just like, I hate it all.
But
Yeah.
well, I guess it's time to go back to digital then.
Name a price, man. Buy everything. All right, buy it all from me. I'm
I thought
done.
you were selling the scanner recently, or that was a different one.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I thought you were selling a scanner recently.
I was, and then my dad was like, "Hey, I have all these negatives from, like a million years ago on my scanner." I was like, "Hey, guess what? I have an extra scanner for you." So I'm gonna bring the 8,000, and let him use it until he's finished with whatever he needs to scan.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah,
Well, I know we went a bit over. I'm sorry about that because
it was
you had a hard stop, but it looked like you were having fun, so
yeah, absolutely,
I didn't want to stop you there. But this was really great.
yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting it out with me and sharing your stories and your adventures. I know this might have been a disjointed conversation for some people because we were kind of all over the place.
Can you imagine like someone just jumping in and they're like, "Wait, what's going on? I thought this was a photo chat."
Like she got mouth cancer. That's the
That's why
crazy.
you don't drink Blicks.
Exactly. Never drink Blicks. Sometimes though, I think Fomapan has a really beautiful anti-halation color. Like when you pre-soak Fomapan and it looks tasty enough to drink. Like, yeah,
Oh man.
I've been tempted.
I, I guess if you do it, just put it on an IP live.
And then someone had a really great comment that I missed earlier, where it was like government jobs equals no happy ending.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but also, just be a decoy and maybe you'll get close.
yeah. Maybe you could just like squeak one in there and be like, I don't know what happened. I was just doing the
It
decoy thing, and it
turned
just I
out
don't know
and
how
it
it
was
happened.
there. Sorry.
I slipped. It just
I slipped. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I used to be a public servant here too, and I realized very quickly that public servitude is just not how I'm wired. So
Mhm.
yeah, hold out.
You got to do though.
Yeah, but thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope that you have a good sleep for your early morning.
Thank
And
you.
thank you everyone for tuning in for this adventurous ride tonight. It was fun chatting with you. Next week, I'm going to have a good friend of mine from the Toronto area on named Jeremy Lynch. He does a lot of really interesting photography and wheat pasting stuff and is a very interesting cat. So that'll probably be a fun chat next week. But
You said cat, like an animal?
well, it's just like, it's like, hey there, you cool cats and
Oh,
kittens.
okay. That's fine.
No, he's definitely a man. So not a cat. I mean, he could be. If he wants to identify as that, I can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
Um,
Open.
but it should be an interesting episode. And thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, and everyone for hanging out. Love all you guys, and thanks for the support.
All right. Thanks, Marlon. It was really fun.
It was a lot. I had a great time. Thank you.
What's up? All right.
Guys later.
Bye.
Bye bye.